Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Breaking Slanglins, and I got another review for you guys today, and I'm going to be reviewing a classic tonight, actually, and it's going to be Blink-182's Self-Titled. I know I was really planning on doing some other reviews for tonight and some other reviews for the next coming days, but I really wanted to get this one out of the way, and quite honestly, it's one of my favorite albums to date. But So this album, just a bit of background, is the fifth album from Blink-182, the pop-punk trio from Southern California. They released this in 2003, which, if I'm not mistaken, is about 9 years ago. But it's such a good album, I'm going to review it anyway. So this album is different from their past stuff, mainly because well, it's hard to explain. This was a big maturation from their past albums that they put out before this, so it kind of shocked the world when it first came out. But anyways, I'll dive right into that and explain it a bit later. But so analyzing the artwork, on the front you have this Blink-182 smiley face. It's a smiley face which basically signifies the band, with the arrows indicating how many albums that they have. So you have the first album, Cheshire Cat, Dude Ranch, Enema of the State, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and the self-titled. So I know people always get confused about the whole albums thing, but it's how many studio albums they have, and that's why there's 5 arrows on the smiley face. The colors are pretty bright on this album, I will say, and on the back you have a picture of the band, Tom, Mark, Travis. When you open the album up, I don't have the CD in here right now, but the CD is basically pink and it has the smiley face with the arrows on it. So you take out the booklet, you have the cover. You open it up, it's got basically all the lyrics and a bunch of cool photographs of the band, like here and here, and it's a really complex system of artwork that they put on this album, but it's cool. It's cool, and I definitely enjoyed looking at it. So art-wise, the album is really nice, and that's all good in that aspect. But okay, last review I did was on Blink-182's Neighborhoods, which is their follow-up to this, and I extended it way too long. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to go track by track and rate like I do on every one, and basically compare and contrast a bit. So first song on the album is called Feeling This. Feeling This is a song that starts off with a riff that almost sounds like an airplane flying overhead, and it goes into this powerful verse with dual vocals from Mark and Tom, going where Tom usually says a sentence, then Mark says, "I'm feeling this," and then they break down into a breakdown, and they call that part the chorus. So it's a pretty unique song because of its structure. It's different. It's I think if you had to pick one song off this album that would be similar to their past stuff, even though none of it is similar to it whatsoever, Feeling This is probably will be close. I liked Feeling This a lot. I thought it was a really cool upbeat song that you could really dance around to and get crazy with. But yeah, it's definitely a solid song, great opener, a good way to pump the energy. So I'm gonna give this one about an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Next we had Obvious. Obvious was a pretty unique song, mainly to me, because one thing I wanted to make sure Blink did on this record, and I bet everyone wanted to make sure, is they wanted to keep it somewhat punk rock, and keep the energy going. And that's what they did on Obvious. What they did with the guitar on this one is they tuned it a step down. So you had the darker sound, and darker lyrics. And that's another thing on this album, is it's a lot darker than their past stuff. And not only is the sound itself changed, but the tone and the mood and the message has changed. So Obvious is a song about a girl going out and cheating on her boyfriend, and basically the lyrics saying, "It's obvious that you're cheating on me, I get it," and that's the main reason for the lyrics. In times like this, it's obvious. So this song is really unique because it has a nice transverse in about the middle, where it goes from dark and it kicks up and it has a bunch of energy. But I really liked listening to this song. I think it's unique and one of the standout tracks on the album, even though I'm going to give it about an 8.5. Next we had I Miss You, which is one of the most alternative rock tracks on this album. It was the lead single, I guess you could say. One of the lead singles, and it's pretty mellow. It's pretty mellow, but it's a really good listen if you want just a calm rock song that's something different. And it's definitely it's the song on this album that's most different from what Blink had done previously. And personally, it has to grow on you. It's one of those songs where you get annoyed at the drum beat, you get annoyed at the guitars, you get annoyed at the bass. But then as you progress, you start to like the song a little more. I think the biggest thing that got me angry about this song that I had to get over was the vocals, and they were sort of flat. But as the more I listened to the song, the more awesome it seemed to me, the more epic it was. So I really love this song now. I like it a lot. Solid 9. Violence. This is one of my favorite songs on the album, I will say. Violence is one of those songs I always have on repeat, and Violence is a really cool song because it's weird. It's weird and unique. It has this weird breakdown. So what it starts off with this sort of almost annoying guitar riff. It goes na, and it goes into this huge burst of instrumental, and then it breaks down. And then you hear 6 bottles went down the drain, 1 hour, it's a waste of time. And you're just like, what is this? And then it breaks into the chorus, like violence you had me. But it's a really unique song. It's built on different things. It's built on different elements. Like it's different. It's out there. It's one of the most creative things Blink's ever done with their songs, and I like it because it paid off very well on this album. It's a powerful song, and it's always really good live. So this song is solid 9 too. Then we had Stockholm Syndrome Interlude, which I'm not going to really count as a song. Not going to spend much time on it, but it's a pretty unique track. I didn't really love it. I thought the piano beat was really cool, and so it's about an 8. Next we had Stockholm Syndrome, which is my favorite song on the album, easily. Stockholm Syndrome almost seemed like Blink-182 was taking their experimental stuff to a whole new level. They weren't even keeping it punk on this song. This song was almost hard rock. And then it broke. So it started off with this powerful verse, and it's a short song. It's below the 3-minute mark. But what they do on this song is they basically use Mark Hoppus, and they use his vocals, and I think that was really cool because they did something different because Tom DeLonge basically dominates this album. He's on almost every track. And what they did with Mark on this song was really cool because not only did they put him in, they used a different tone in this song. They made it angry, and there's even a part in the song where Mark screams his verse, and I think that was really, really, really cool personally. It's easily my favorite song on the album. It's really powerful. It's really cool. It just, the moment I listened to it, I loved it. And you will too. If it's the first song you hear off this album, it'll make you listen to every single track. Next we had Down. Down was another good track, which was one of the other lead singles, and this is an alternative song too. I liked it a lot. I like the choruses. The vocals are really cool. They work in this situation with Tom's vocals, and it worked really nicely in this kind of situation. It was really cool, and that's really all I have much to say. I mean, it seems like a darker song, but it's one of those songs that it's a guilty pleasure to listen to, and you just love it from the beginning to end every single time you listen. So that song's easily a 9, and Stockholm Syndrome's a 10. Easy. Next song it's not even a song, it's the Fallen Interlude, and this was one of those things where it doesn't really count as a song, but I'm going to count it anyway. It's basically, there's no vocals in it. It's just Travis going off. Travis Barker just doing a hip-hop beat, and personally, I thought it was cool. I thought it was unique, but I didn't love it, per se. It's not one of those things you'll really repeat, and so the song's about a 7. The song's about a 7, even though it's not even a song. Okay, so just moving on, next we had Go. And Go is a really awesome song. I liked it a lot. It was really short and really aggressive. It's one of the other punk songs on this album, like legit punk. And when I listened to Go, I thought it was fast and it had a good message. It's about basically breakups and divorces and things of that nature. And when I listened to the song, I thought it was angry, and I thought it was cool because it was angry and it was different and it had a nice tone to it. But it's one of those songs that you'll repeat. It's a guilty pleasure, but it's an awesome guilty pleasure. So that song is about a 9. Asthenia, I think that's how you say it, Asthenia. It's a cool song. They started off with a space sound almost, and it was really cool because it set up the build up really nicely, and what they did with this song was really cool. They put everything together really nicely, almost like a puzzle. And the song is really catchy. It grows on you a lot, and it's just fantastic. That's all I can really say about it. It's a solid 8.5. Okay, so next we have Always, which is another one of the lead singles, and one of my favorites next to Stockholm Syndrome and Violence. Always is very 80s-like, I will say. It's one of those songs out there where you're like, is that Blink? And then you go, oh, that is Blink. So, yeah, this one's a really unique track. It's different. It sounds almost like Blink-182 got in a time portal and went back to the 80s. And they do that by introducing a lot of synths. And they do a lot of things using the synths, and they use it to come up with a really nice product in Always. It's a really solid track. I loved listening to it. It's so catchy. It's so catchy, and the bass line is amazing. I can play it on bass, and it's a fantastic song, just in general. So this song's easily a 9.5. Okay, next, this is the part of the album where I think it sort of sank, kind of, almost, but Easy Target. This song, I wasn't particularly in awe by. I mean, I liked the song. I thought it was really solid, but I thought it was almost a bit too angry and almost a bit too dark for Blink. I mean, it's a unique track, but every single track on this album it's really solid. That's all I can really say about it. And for that reason, I'm gonna give it about an 8 because it's still a really doggone good track. It's just one of the weaker ones. Next one is All of This, which actually features vocals from Robert Smith from The Cure. And this is one of the weaker tracks on the album. It's very different and very mellow. This song, it has to grow on you, I will say. It grew on me. It took a while because it was so mellow and so different. But I think it's really solid. There's not really much I can say about it because I haven't listened to it as much as the other tracks on here. But I'm gonna give it about a solid 8 because what they did with Robert Smith is they introduced his vocals, but they did it in a very successful way. They did it in a good way. So it wasn't like you were being bored to death by The Cure. It was a pretty good song, and yeah, so the rating's appropriate. Next we had Here's Your Letter, which I thought was one of the faster songs, one of the songs that they tried to keep punk, and it's a unique track. It's really fast, really it's really sped up, and they do that, and it worked really well in this song. Once again, it's the song that I listened to least on this album so far, so I don't really have a ton to say about it, but I think it's a solid track, and it's a good one to put at almost at the downside of the lineup. So this song's about a 7.5 to an 8. Next we had I'm Lost Without You. I'm Lost Without You is actually one of my favorite songs on the album. It's very unique, and it's very very slow, but Tom's vocals fit perfectly in here. They fit almost perfectly, and the tempo that they put the song at, it's just addicting, and the outro is fantastic. It was a great way to end the album. It was a fantastic song to end a fantastic album. So that's basically wrapping it up. This album was really nice. I liked listening to it a lot, and to this day it still amuses me, and whenever I really want to listen to something good, I pop this into my CD player. It's a fantastic album. That's all I can really say it as. It's my favorite Blink album, and probably always will be unless they come out with something a lot like this. I really like this album, and I think if you are a real person that loves Blink-182, go out, buy this, appreciate it, because it's one of the best, I will definitely say. Alright guys, so yep, the album I'm gonna give about a 9. It's a really solid album, so I think it's really doggone good. That's really all I can put it as. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching my review. It's always a pleasure, and I will get back to you in a few days. Thanks guys, peace.